My name is Samantha. I am here with my co-host, Jeff, who is a customer success director. I am a customer success manager here with On the Clock. And today I am just going to be giving you some tips on tools to improve productivity. So let's just jump right in. So the reason that we're actually hosting this webinar today is because we are celebrating World Productivity Day. So World Productivity Day is on June 20th. And it's a great time to just reflect on current work strategies and to remember that smarter work strategies aid in better performance overall, and they promote well-being, which is a win-win for productivity. So that is the reason why we're hosting this webinar and we're giving you these tidbits today. All right, so we have some logistics here. So just some of the topics that we will be going over and tools that can help you improve productivity within On the Clock are going to include things with job and costing, automations, scheduling practices, and time and attendance reports. And just a note, anybody who's joining late, anyone who might need to drop off since we did start a little later than intended, no worries, you will get a replay. Please allow up to 2 or 24 hours before the replay does come out. It typically comes out pretty quick, but up to 24 hours. And then of course, at the end, we will hold a Q&A. And then just some things to remind you of, we will be posting some polls throughout. One of our first polls that we would love to know is just how long have you been a customer with On the Clock? And you should see that inside your chat under polls, it should highlight. So go ahead and answer that for us. We would love to know your answers. We look forward to reading those answers later on and being in touch. All right, so we'll just jump in. So what is productivity? So productivity has a lot of different meanings to a lot of different places on what and how you consider that, how you might track that, but it's basically a whole collab between your outputs, your inputs, and the efficiency of that. So we wanted to put together a list of our tools that can help you keep track of those things that can basically drive your outcomes and make you more efficient with your productivity with your teams. So one of those tools that we know people utilize is jobs. Jobs is something that we track a lot of. There are contractors out there, construction companies, there's various jobs that people might be working on. So if you do track jobs for your employees, go ahead and check out our polls, give us an answer. And we understand that it can be frustrating at times, consuming spending time trying to sort out, add up your hours and properly allocate them to a job. You're running payroll, you need to know what jobs people are spending time on, or maybe you just need to simply turn around and bill a customer or a client on that. So if this is something that you are looking to boost your productivity with, On the Clock does have a tool for this. And what this tool can help you do under job and costing is we can help you enhance your capability to see how much time your team is spending. So in those specific areas, whether they're working through a job, through a project, you can build out these reports to show the number of hours per job and by employee. So you can get a handle on how many labor hours are actually being spent. So now you can take this report, look at all your labor hours and what's actually being worked on. And this is going to increase transparency for how much time it's going to take to complete certain types of tasks or projects or jobs. So now you have this transparency of how much time you're actually spending to do these things. And with that, you can also group these things together underneath your customer or your client. And this is going to help you build that back. So a more accurate reporting for billing there. All right, so the next concept as we move into productivity is this concept of working smarter and not harder. We have our friend Kermit here. He's looking at his typewriter. Long gone are the days of our typewriters, right? Technology's advanced. We're not really using those, minus the nostalgic appeal. And as we continue to advance technology, we continue to improve tools that help us improve our performance. And those things update daily. A lot of times we move towards automating tasks that are repetitive so that we can free up that time for more of our human value and resource. So with that said, On the Clock does offer automations to help you ramp up your day. So some of those things that you might be interested in with automation is creating automated reports. You can help speed up payroll processing and reduce your time spent adjusting time. You can get these reports within a segment of your decision, so up to X amount of hours at the end of a pay period. You can create who's in reporting, which is going to highlight if everyone is clocked in or if everybody's out at a certain time of day, and this can reduce your punch mistakes. So a common story, we have schedules that we want people to follow. We don't know if everybody's clocked in and out. Maybe I'm not looking at my phone. Maybe I'm not logging in today. You can schedule a report to come 15 minutes prior to a start time with a who's in. And you can have that come daily, you can have that come weekly, but you can look at that and you can then address whether or not your teams are actually clocked in on time. So you're just speeding up the process of looking for punch mistakes and reducing that on the spot. You can automate weekly reporting to understand if an employee, what the employee's hours look like for the weekly period. So if you're tracking overtime, for example, or you're worried about overtime tracking, and you want to know how many hours somebody has accumulated, you can set up these reports and get an idea of where your employee's at, and you can alert your employees about that as well. So not only do automations help the admin managers, there's reporting in here for automations that help your employees as well. So employees can be aware that they're approaching overtime. Employees can also be aware of when they need to be scheduled to start on shift. Those are a couple of key things that can become automated. So next we have scheduling. So what is on the schedule? I know a lot of businesses create schedules. We publish them out. Some businesses are going to have a static schedule. Everybody knows you're supposed to be here 9 to 5. We know our schedule. We kind of come and go. There are other jobs though, and other, companies where we have to constantly be diligently looking at our schedules. So I have our Grinch here. Work-life balance can begin benefiting you and your teams as you begin to analyze schedules and really dive into what work is happening and when. So people call off sick and maybe we don't know who's available. You can check your schedule. Inside the scheduling, you can see who's currently scheduled, who's not, and then you can kind of move around those shifts and publish that out. I did put my little reference here. I'm with the Grinch. I can't cancel on him again. I would love to know who understands my reference. If you do understand my reference, give me a holler in the chat. My director doesn't understand the reference, but I thought I'd give it a try. All right, so some more about scheduling and how this is a good tool for you. So you can build out employee schedules with relevant details about their shift. You can even add their locations and even jobs or tasks that they're working on. So all of that can be contained on the schedule so you know what they're working on, where they're working, and you can publish that out. So scheduling can benefit productivity by building structure and routine. So it leaves out that uncertainty and it reduces your workforce stress and increases their efficiency. So some companies, it is just a printout that you're popping on the wall, and employees are coming and they're looking for it and they're waiting for it or they're calling up for it. With this tool, you can actually just send that out and they can just reference it on their app. Once it's published, the employee can visit it, look at when they're scheduled, and it reduces that stress. Scheduling helps prioritization of what work needs to be done and what tasks should be handled. So with this, you can put tasks on the schedule and you're prioritizing those tasks by scheduling them out. And then creating a fixed schedule can create consistent schedules that automate breaks and apply times to paid or unpaid options for you. So next, we talk about, time tracking and attendance. They kind of go hand in hand. And in order to be productive, you do have to attend, you have to show up. So at least at work, we don't have to announce everyone's name in a giant room. We don't have to wait for them to respond here or present. Thank goodness for that, but it does follow us around, doesn't it? So we do have to be aware of overall attendance because the hours worked do matter, and it also matters for benefits or even the classification of your employees. You need to know how many hours people are working so that you know if they're full or part-time. So attendance reporting is something that we can help reduce the headaches of and that we can help you with. So with fixed scheduling, it's a great way to accommodate employees whose schedule are always the same. And they do not need to see it daily to know it. So this is going to be your standard this person works 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We know that, we apply it. So application of this schedule allows our administrators and our managers to run time and attendance reporting based on the hours input on the schedule, and it will flag whether or not an employee was on time, early, or even late. So it highlights those days that are missing on the time card as well once you fill it out. And you can see my little example over here. We just can see that in red, new employee has, not showed up, and it's an unexcused absence. So we can highlight that for you through the use of a fixed schedule. So just some key takeaways of what was discussed. Through job and costing reports, you can increase visibility on how much time is spent per job, task, and project. So we're looking at those labor hours. We're able to identify how much time we're spending to increase the efficiency of our productivity. Work smarter by deploying automated reports that can help you be vigilant about employees' hours and reduce the mistakes. And promote work-life balance by creating certainty with schedules and reduce that employee stress. All right, so thank you again for bearing with me as I tried to figure out why you could not hear me. We will open it up for Q&A, so feel free to pop any questions that you do have in the chat. And thank you for answering the polls, by the way. If you haven't answered the polls, go ahead and click the polls and just give us a shout. We like looking at those answers and seeing kind of what we have going on with our customer base. Jeff did get the Bueller reference. Did everybody else in here get the Bueller reference? I feel like we had more Bueller reference understanding instead of the Grinch. So in the help section, yeah, you should be able to type automated reports, and Jeff might be able to pop in the link to automations inside here so that you can grab that. So there should be a help section about setting up automation. And then Kathy, can I speak about job site assignment and not allowing someone to clock in if not on site? Yeah, so inside of OnTheClock, there's the capability to do job site assignment. That's going to be your locations. You can restrict locations, and the way that it works is you set up your job site and you're going to put in your address on the map. It's going to pinpoint it, and it's actually going to be a restriction that you set on the employee profile from there. So it's going to be in your mobile settings under security and location. And you just want to make sure that once you've set up that geo-fenced site, that you're adjusting your rule to adhere to that. And we can also pop in a help section article for that as well. Oh, and to note with that as well, Kathy, when you do set that rule, it's actually applied for any of your geofence locations. So like if you're changing that rule. Yeah. Have you set any of them up yet, Kathy? I would reach out to us at support@ontheclock.com, and then we can help work through how to get those sites best put inside the system for you. Okay. Yeah, we should be able to help through the support ticket on how to get those sites set up. All right. Any other questions that I can help answer today? We will follow up, of course, to let you know there will be that replay as well. So I will try to address any questions, including yours, Kathy, after this as well. So no worries. Hang tight. All right, well, if there are no more questions, again, thank you so much for joining our presentation today. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope to see all of you again in some of our webinar series. We plan to be having more webinars more frequently. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely weekend. Bye, everyone.